Hey there, viewers. There's a tiny hole in your airplane window. What do? Do you call the cabin crew? Do you yell out so other passengers on board know that there's been a breach in the air pressure? Or do you sit back and relax? Out of all three options, the lattermost seems the least plausible. But it's actually what you should do when you notice that hole. What does that hole mean? And is it supposed to be there? We're letting you in on a few airplane secrets, starting with that tiny hole. Holes in windows. Where is it and what does it mean? Have you ever noticed a hole in your window that might seem counterproductive for an airplane, and your first instinct might be to raise Mayday on the plane? But don't worry, it's not what you think. The hole is actually known as a breather hole. It's a hole in the second pane of the window. Oh, did you know that there were 3 panes? The second pane equalizes the pressure from the first and the third pane and drastically reduces the amount of pressure the glass is under. That hole is actually saving your life. Other airplane secrets. Number 7. Secret sleeping cabins. Flying might be the fastest way to travel, but traveling faster is a relative term. Sure, it's faster to fly than it is to walk, but a 14-hour flight from America to Australia is by no means a short flight. When you board a plane that's meant to fly for over 10 to 15 hours, you come prepared. That is, you bring a comfy blanket, an eye mask, and might even pack soundproof headphones to get some Z's in before you land. However, your bed is just a reclined seat. Passengers can catch a few hours of sleep in, but what about the pilots and the cabin crew? Surely no one gets more exhausted on a plane than the people who are clocking in on it. Well, airlines make sure that there are comfortable compartments for the crew on board to get a few hours worth of sleep in during a long flight. But where are these compartments? In most planes, these compartments are right above first class or business class seats. Right at the partition between economy and business, or business and first class, there's a secret stairway. This stairway leads to several sleeping cabins, or one long cabin where the crew can sleep in shifts during long flights. You might have seen these stairs while going from the airplane lavatory. But then again, you might not have seen them on every plane. Why is that? Because sometimes airlines commit to secrecy to make sure the stairway stays hidden. This is just to keep away pesky passengers who are trying to explore a plane beyond their access. What's inside the sleeping cabin? Well, a bed for starters, but some airlines go the extra mile with gaming stations, music controls, and other amenities. In some planes, the cabin's crew sleeping compartment are comparable to first-class sleeping compartments. Number 6. The Blue Napkin. On your next flight, try to spot the antimacassar. Have you ever spotted one? Think long and hard. Pause the video if you'd like, because we're willing to bet you've already seen one on every single one of your flights. Can't seem to put your finger on it? Well, here's a hint. You've rested your head on it before. That's right, an antimacassar is the little napkin that overlies a plane seat's headrest. But what is it for? And what exactly is macassar? To answer this, you'll have to go back in time. During the 19th century, men began to apply a thin layer of oil in their hair to set it back. The sleek hair back look was pretty common in the 19th and up until a part of the 20th century. You might have noticed prominent poets with their hair slicked back. Well, that was macassar oil. The oil was comparable to most oils, that is, it left a residue. Most chairs would have a square napkin overlying their headrests to prevent the macassar oil from transferring onto the seats, even airplane seats. But the question is, why is it still there today? Well, the simple answer is the macassar oil might not be a fashion statement today, but people tend to put a lot of products in their hair, and airlines aren't too keen on replacing their upholstery. Number 5. Don't drink the water. The American Flight Association has rallied several times to raise awareness on the uncleanliness in planes, particularly a plane's water tank. However, when you're up in the air on a 10 to 15-hour flight and you're parched, you might find yourself ordering a glass of water. If an air hostess or air host is vigilant enough, they'll try to warn you against ordering a glass of water. So, for context, even the cabin crew doesn't want you to drink water from a plane. Now let's look into why. The cabin crew knows what's going on inside a plane, the plane's functioning, the food, and where everyone should be seated. What they don't know, however, is how often the plane's water tank has been cleaned. Airlines are notorious for trying to cut costs wherever possible. They believe that water should just clean itself. Well, they're not just wrong, but they're endangering the lives of everyone on board. 1 in 10 planes have a positive test for bacteria in their water. So then what? Are you just supposed to be dehydrated during your flight? Not exactly. Instead of water, ask the cabin crew to get you a soda or something that's been pre-packaged on the ground. Sure, it won't do the trick like water would, but it's better than getting sick during a long-haul flight. Number 4, don't go to the lavatory. Did you know that pilots cannot legally take off if there's someone in the airplane lavatory during takeoff? Imagine an entire flight being delayed because someone's going number 1 or number 2. While it might sound crazy, it's actually true. Airlines have strict guidelines when it comes to passenger safety. After all, that's how most lawsuits form. You might have noticed the cabin crew putting strict emphasis on the fact that all passengers must be in their seats during takeoff and landing. And no, a toilet seat doesn't count. The answer is pretty simple. The cabin crew is trying to make sure that everyone's in their seats and buckled up when the plane is going to experience the most jerks during takeoff and landing. The cabin crew can actually forbid you from using the lavatory during these times. Guess you'll have to hold it for a little while longer. Number 3, yellow loops. Airplanes are slowly turning into a giant game of Where's Wally? There are several airplane secrets we know nothing about, and some of these secrets might just save our lives one day. Have you ever noticed a pair of yellow loops sticking out of an otherwise ivory plane flap? You'll probably find this feature on a larger Airbus than a smaller carrier plane. The pair of yellow loops are actually a testament to a flight engineer's ingenuity. They're there to make sure you escape injury during an emergency landing. We know that most airplanes are equipped with inflatable slides to make sure that passengers get off the plane quickly during an emergency landing. But did you know that passengers can actually slip and fall when trying to escape out of the plane? If the emergency exit is right near the flap, the main cause of injury isn't the emergency landing, but the fact that the flap is so smooth that you might just trip and hit your head. The yellow loops are there for the cabin crew to maneuver themselves on top of the flap, secure a rope in one end of the loop, and then tie it around the other end of the plane itself. This provides an easy pathway for passengers to grab onto the rope and make a safe exit. Number 2, secret applications. In 2015, an air host for United Airlines came up to a passenger and wished him a happy birthday. Now, while this gesture would have been heartwarming otherwise, it raised alarm bells for the passenger since, well, he hadn't told anyone it was his birthday. United was forced to disclose that the crew found out about the passenger's birthday through an application that had been specifically designed for United Airlines employees. There are secret flight applications that are only accessible to employees of certain airlines. They provide flying schedules, onboard food details, and other details for the crew to track their days off and clock in or clock out. United actually went too far by detailing passenger information into their applications. Number 1, the triangular sticker. Everyone's always fighting for a window seat. It's the best seat on the entire plane, that is, unless you're a nervous flyer. But for the most part, passengers try their best to procure a seat that gives them a great view of the fluffy clouds and the aluminum flaps soaring through the skies. In all honesty, it's a pretty exciting sight. But there are a few window seats that are more important than others. Why is that? Do these seats double as secret landing cabins? Are they reserved for special passengers? Also, where are these seats and how can you find them? Have you ever noticed a triangular sticker overlying 6 seats on an airplane? That's 3 on one side and 3 on the other. These stickers come in either red or black and are just big enough for someone who's looking for them to notice, but small enough for a regular Joe to overlook. What do they mean? Sadly, the answer isn't as exciting as we would have thought. The stickers correlate with the plane's dimensions, and the seats with the stickers provide perfect vantage points for the cabin crew to look at the flaps of the airplane. The cabin crew gets signals from the cockpit to check on the flaps of the plane in case of major turbulence, right after takeoff or right before landing. The flaps of the plane function as the hearts of the plane. We need the heart to survive. Here's another interesting fact for some of you, especially those who are avid fans of The Twilight Zone. These seats are sometimes referred to as William Shatner's seat to commemorate an episode where Shatner's character looks out of the window to see a gremlin on top of the flaps. But don't worry, all you'll see is a big aluminum flap piercing through the skies. Well, that's all for this video. What are some airline secrets you know? Let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.